Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Masai Gains on Cars and another episode of Benz Revival. Today, I'm gonna tell you why the Mercedes C-Class is often the best Mercedes to buy. Well, mainly because the more expensive models, the E-Classes, the S-Classes, over time, those electronics and all that complexity that comes with those kind of cars, those systems usually tend to fail, and so the resale values tend to plummet because people are no longer willing to put $2,000-3,000 in different repairs to try and get the car back to its original state. Whereas if you talk about the C-Class, because of how basic these C-Classes are, because of how Mercedes builds them to be a very basic, durable, reliable vehicle that can just kill the kilometers and keep going, is usually the best car to get if you're looking for a Mercedes within the range of $4,000 to $6,000, a 10-year-old or a 15-year-old or a 20-year-old Mercedes. The C-Class is often the one that'll have held up the best, and that's why these cars are so desirable after so long. So here is the C-Class. This is my W202 1996 Mercedes Benz. I absolutely love this vehicle. You know, it's sat for a while, but if you're following this series, you know that this is where we have reached now. I did get the hood emblem put. It was quite simple. It's just a hook latch that you have to turn on the inside of the bonnet. So I got the hood emblem done. But why is the Mercedes C-Class the best? Well, if you look at the Kenyan market right now, if you're looking at S-Classes, even the newer S-Classes, they have just plummeted in value. The car in front of us, my W202, could probably fetch up to $6,000, $7,000. And at that kind of money, you could get a W124 as well, and you could even go up to an S-Class, the W140. Granted, the W140 was quite a reliable vehicle, so that one could fetch up to $10,000 and above. But if we're talking about the S-Class that came after the W140, those have just plummeted in value, and that is because of the complexity of the systems. So even though this is a 1996, it still retained a lot of its value. And that's because of how Mercedes built these vehicles. Nice and simple. I mean, a headlight replacement. You saw me replacing the taillights in the previous video. Fairly simple, you know, the gear knobs, everything fairly simple. It's just plug and play. Take out the parts and replace them with brand new parts. Suspension, simple, no complexity, no hydraulics, none of that pneumatic suspension or anything like that. And so it's just lasted over time. Simple shocks that have just gone years and years. And it's this basic nature in which Mercedes builds these C-Classes that really helps these vehicles retain the best value over time and become very desirable for new buyers 15, 20, 30 years on. So you can see even with the interior, very basic, there's no infotainment. There's a simple system there which I can switch out. So speaking about the C-Class and why it retains its value so well, the other thing we must mention is this M111 engine. I mean, you found these M111 engines in a lot of the Benzes in this era. W124s, plenty of them had this M111 engine, and a lot of the SLKs as well. And this is just an inline 4. It's a simple system, no V6, no complexity, you know. It's crazy, it revs up to 7,000 RPM. But these engines have been known to go 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 kilometers with good maintenance, you know, run the right oils, flush the coolant every now and then, flush the power steering fluid, and it's been pretty reliable, touch wood, so far. So this M111 engine was engineered for reliability. It was back in a time when there wasn't any added complexity to engines to try and fork out a bit more horsepower like you see in the newer versions of the Benzes. You get really powerful systems and systems with compressors or superchargers on them, and that just strains the engine more over time. This kind of engine is simple, it's basic, it's easy to work on. Yes, they're known for blowing head gaskets, but not all of them, not these inline fours. And I mean, if that happens, you can go ahead and fix it, but the common issues only are that MAF sensor, which I already replaced, coolant reservoir, the plastics over time they wore out, so I got that replaced as well. And yeah, these C-classes had a few electrical gremlins, but once you get that sorted and wired up, program the ECU, it's a simple car. It's a simple car, and it gives me, you know, a lot of enjoyment driving this vehicle so many years later. So much enjoyment. You know, I have a Land Cruiser Cygnus, but still on the weekends I do like to just get in this car because the seating position is so relaxed, it's so laid back. You know, I'm completely reclined, and it's so spacious. It's a functional car. That's another reason why these cars are so desirable. You know, look at the space, look at the spacing on the seats, look at the amount of legroom. I mean, I'm 6'1", I have tons of legroom. It's actually ridiculous. And then you got good storage in the boot, plenty of storage here. Right, I mean, I've got a subwoofer, but still, you've got acres of space here. So another reason there. Nice and functional vehicle. You know, you don't have any electrical systems. You saw how that boot closed. You know, there's no soft closed doors like in an S-Class. It's just latches and stuff, mechanical stuff, that just tends to go ages and ages. So it seems like it's a bird fest here today, but bear with me. We've got a beautiful sunset here in Nairobi, Kenya. And we come into the back, plenty of space. I mean, your passengers will be comfortable. You can see that the front seats have been reclined a lot, but rear seat passengers will be very happy. There's enough room, and the car just screams elegance. I mean, you tell me. This is a W202. After this came the W203. I didn't like that shape at all, so I'll put a picture of that shape on the screen right now, and then I'll also put a picture of the W204, which I believe was a return to Mercedes Benz. You know, they took the design a bit more seriously. The W203 was just not good looking in my opinion, but this 202 was very good looking, very elegant. You know, the lights are reminiscent of that W140 S-Class, which I believe is just one of the best vehicles that Mercedes built. The W123, another unbelievable machine, but that was the 1980s and the 1990s. So this car, 96, falls in that era. I mean, it was after this era where Mercedes started cheapening out their products and, you know, using more of the plastics. But I will say, granted, this interior does also have a lot of plastic, but you know, it's done in a nice way, and it was done for durability. And that's why you can see this car so many years later almost in pristine condition. The wood, you know, those parts you can replace, but still in very good condition. We'll just start it up quickly. You can hear how the car starts after all these years. That's it, guys. Another episode of Benz Revival. I hope you enjoyed. This is why the Mercedes C-Class is so desirable, because of its basic nature and how well it ages over time. So if you're looking into getting one of these, I would recommend the 202s, I would recommend the 204s. Those are newer but quite a nice vehicle. And the 203s, they're known to have a few issues, so, and I didn't like the look of that vehicle. But this is a good car to daily drive. You suck up the kilometers. I mean, kilometers are just flying. Economy has been really well. It's a 62-liter tank, and I'm probably getting about 10 kilometers a liter. And you know, it just eats the kilometers up. It's a pleasure driving this manual gearbox. It shifts smoothly, and can't complain. I really can't complain. So if you're enjoying these videos, hit like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll catch you in the next one.